Hi everyone and welcome back to another lesson from Korean Studio. My name is Kim Gi-hwan. Now we're going to start a new series where we teach you everyday Korean conversation, and in this first episode we're going to take a look at useful phrases you can use to talk about your morning routine. So let's go straight into the lesson and we're going to listen to a dialogue of two people talking about their morning routine. Now, there isn't going to be any English translation, so you're just going to listen to the Korean dialogue. So have a listen, see how much of it you can understand, and afterwards we'll go into every line in detail afterwards.
아침에 몇 시에 일어나요?
보통 7시쯤에 일어나요.
저는 좀 늦게 일어나요. 저는 9시 넘어서 일어나요.
아침에 뭐 드세요?
아침에 보통 커피 한 잔 해요.
저는 회사 가는 길에 김밥을 사 먹어요.
회사는 어떻게 가요?
저는 지하철 타고 가요. 미나 씨는 어떻게 가요?
저는 운전해서 가요.
Okay, so let's take a look at this conversation in detail. First, we have the question. 아침에 몇 시에 일어나요? What time do you get up in the morning? 아침에 몇 시에 일어나요? First, we have 아침 meaning morning, and it's used with the particle 에. And 에 is a particle we use with various time phrases. So together, 아침에 means in the morning. Then we have 몇 시에, and it means what time or at what time. 몇 시 means what time, and again, it's used with the particle 에. And lastly, we have the verb 일어나요. The infinitive form, the base form, is 일어나다, and this can mean to get up or to stand up. So we conjugate it to its present polite form, 일어나요. So altogether, 아침에 몇 시에 일어나요 means in the morning, at what time do you get up? What time do you get up in the morning? 아침에 몇 시에 일어나요? Now, in response, person B said, 보통 7시쯤에 일어나요. I normally get up around 7. 보통 7시쯤에 일어나요. First, we have the word 보통, and this means normally. Then we have 7시쯤에, around 7 o'clock. When we say the time in terms of the hour, we use the native Korean number and the word 시, which means hour. So 7시 means 7 o'clock. And if we say 7시에, it means at 7 o'clock. But if we add this word 쯤, it means around 7. And we use the word 쯤 to talk about an estimate number or an estimate time. So 7시쯤에 means around 7. And again, we have the same verb 일어나요, which means to get up. So altogether, 보통 7시쯤에 일어나요 means I normally get up around 7. Next, the woman in the dialogue said, 저는 좀 늦게 일어나요. I get up a bit late. 저는 좀 늦게 일어나요. The key word here is 늦게, and this means late. It's an adverb, and we can use this word 늦게 to talk about doing something late. And what this person does late is 늦게 일어나요. Get up late. And then we add this word 좀 to say a bit late. 좀 늦게. A bit late. Now, after that, the woman explains what time she gets up, and that's 저는 9시 넘어서 일어나요. I get up after 9. 저는 9시 넘어서 일어나요. Now, the key phrase here is 넘어서, and the verb 넘다 means to go beyond or to go past. And we can use the ending 아서 어서 to sequence events. So, when we say 9시 넘어서, we're saying go past 9 o'clock and then 일어나요, get up. So it means I get up after 9. 저는 9시 넘어서 일어나요. I get up after 9. Then we have this question asking the other person what they have for breakfast. And that's 아침에 뭐 드세요? 아침에 뭐 드세요? So 아침에 means in the morning. 뭐 means what, and 드세요 is a polite way of asking what do you eat. So 뭐 드세요 means what do you eat, and 아침에 means in the morning. So altogether, 아침에 뭐 드세요 essentially means what do you eat in the morning, but we can loosely translate it to mean what do you eat for breakfast. 아침에 뭐 드세요? 아침에 뭐 드세요? And then in response, the woman in the dialogue, person A said, 아침에 보통 커피 한 잔해요. I normally have a cup of coffee in the morning. 아침에 보통 커피 한 잔해요. Now, as we have learned so far, 아침에 means in the morning, 보통 means normally, and then we have 커피 한 잔. 커피 is coffee, 한 잔 means one glass. 한 is the shortened form of the native Korean number 하나, meaning one, and 잔 means glass. So when we talk about a cup of coffee, we use the word 잔 and say 커피 한 잔. And to talk about having a cup of coffee, we use the verb 해요, and the infinitive form is 하다, meaning to do. And but we often use this verb 하다 when we talk about drinking something. So when we say 커피 한 잔 해요, it means to have a cup of coffee, to drink a cup of coffee. And using the verb 하다 to talk about having a drink of something is very common in Korean. Now then, in response, the man in the dialogue, person B said, 저는 회사 가는 길에 김밥을 사 먹어요. I have kimbap on my way to work. 저는 회사 가는 길에 김밥을 사 먹어요. First, we have this word 회사, and this means company, but we often use this word to talk about our workplace, work. Then we have this phrase 가는 길에. Now, this phrase essentially is made up of the verb 가다, but then we change it into its modifying form 가는, and then we use it in front of the noun 길, which can mean street or way. So 가는 길 essentially means a way that one goes. And we use this phrase 가는 길에 to talk about on your way to going somewhere. So 회사 가는 길에 means on my way to work. And technically, there should be a particle after 에, 회사에 가는 길에, but in speech, dropping that particle is more natural sounding. So we say 회사 가는 길에, and that means on my way to work. Then we have 김밥을 사 먹어요. Kimbap is this food that we have in Korea. I'll show an image of this on the screen. And then we have this verb 사 먹어요. And this combines the verb 사다, to buy, and the verb 먹다, to eat. And then we make this a compound verb, 사 먹다. And it essentially means to buy and eat something. And in Korean, compound verbs are very common. So it's something to sort of get used to using. So we say 김밥을 사 먹어요 to say that I buy kimbap and I eat it. So altogether, 저는 회사 가는 길에 김밥을 사 먹어요. I have kimbap on my way to work. Finally, the person A asks how the other person gets to work, and that is, 회사는 어떻게 가요? 회사는 어떻게 가요? So 회사는 in terms of work, in terms of your company, 어떻게 가요? How do you go? 어떻게 means how, and then we have the verb 가요, which means to go. Now then, in response, the man says, 저는 지하철 타고 가요. I go by metro. I go by subway. 저는 지하철 타고 가요. The word 지하철 refers to the underground train, metro, subway. And then we have this verb phrase, 타고 가요. This combines the verb 타다, which means to ride or to get on, and the verb 가요, which means to go. And we use this word 고 to combine the two verbs together, 타고 가요. And one of the uses of 고 is to sequence actions. So when we say 타고 가요, it means to I get on and then go. The thing about a lot of Korean verbs, particularly like, let's just focus on the verb 타다, which means to ride and get on. We can't just use it to talk about going somewhere because it only refers to the act of getting on something. So if I say 지하철을 타다, it means to ride or to get on the subway. If I say 버스를 타다, It means to ride or to get on the bus, the act of getting on these forms of transport. So whenever we want to talk about taking these forms of transport to go somewhere, we can add the verbs either 가다 or 오다 and say 타고 가다 or 타고 오다, depending on whether you're going or coming to somewhere. So we can say 저는 지하철 타고 가요. I go by metro. And then to ask the same question back, we have a person B saying 미나 씨는 어떻게 가요? How do you get to work, 미나? 미나 씨는 어떻게 가요? And then 미나 says 저는 운전해서 가요. I drive to work. 저는 운전해서 가요. Now, we have this verb phrase 운전해서 가요. And this combines the verbs 운전하다, meaning to drive, and then the verb 가요, 가다, which means to go. And to 운전하다, we've added the ending 아서, 어서, essentially 여서, and made 운전해서. And one of the uses of this ending 아서, 어서, or 여서 is talk about the method of doing something. So when we say 운전해서 가요, this person is explaining how she gets to work, and that is by driving. So the literal meaning of 저는 운전해서 가요 means I go by driving. But we can loosely translate it in terms of this context and say I drive to work. 저는 운전해서 가요. 저는 운전해서 가요. Okay, so that's a very detailed look at a dialogue talking about a morning routine, and I hope you were able to learn some useful phrases you can use to talk about your own morning routine. As always, if you have any questions, please leave your questions in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as I can. That's it for today, and I look forward to seeing you soon again. Bye-bye.